Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about CELPIP speaking. We're going to talk about the sample you have to do, how many points you have to do in this particular question type, and maybe more if we have time. I'm going to talk about the best way to arrange your answer by giving you my own sample. Okay, this task you see on your screen is question number 8. I picked this because a lot of people get confused here. The problem is also this question is always different. Sometimes it's something like this, explain what you can see in the painting. Sometimes it is talk about directions in a map, and there are different situations. You would also get questions to explain a weird creature, for example. So one thing you want to understand is you cannot define everything in the picture. The time is only a minute, so you want to define the main features only. By that, I mean 2 to 4 points max, and a good average here is of course 3 points, and that's gonna be quality points. You're gonna define them more instead of just rushing through them, because the problem is we think we have to define everything, and when you do that you make a very small sentences on each. None of your descriptions have adjectives, descriptions, or compound sentences, because you're making short sentences to cover everything. And usually what that sounds like is this is here, this is here, this is here, and so on, right? So it's a very useless answer that does not show your range of vocab and does not do a good job with task response, because you're not really describing what's in the picture. So 3 to 4 points, 2 to 4 points max are enough. Okay, there's intro as well and conclusion, which is going to be based on the topic. Now, in this case, you stumble upon an old painting in an art gallery. Call your spouse and explain what you see in this picture. Why is it so intriguing to you? This part of the question, this last part, I usually ignore that, because when you start explaining this and you're going to say, this girl has like a halo around her, which makes her look like a saint or an angel. When you're describing that, it's automatic that you will explain why it's interesting. You're going to use your figures of speech and expressions to show why it is so amazing, right? So you don't have to worry about this part too much. Like, you don't need another template or 20 seconds on that. It's going to be part of the explanation. Now here I'm going to call my spouse, so I'm going to be natural. Remember to do that. It's supposed to be informal. Your tone is going to be evaluated. I'm also going to try to be expressive, not robotic, and I'm going to try to think that I'm actually talking to my spouse so I could do a good job here. Throughout my speaking, I'm going to use good connectors. I will use good adjectives and adverbs if I can. I'll try to use complex wordings. Then I'm also going to evaluate myself at the end, which I'll show you guys how to do, because this is an exercise you guys can do in your free time. And you can check our course in the description. It includes 5 really challenging mock tests. Use them, use this practice that I'm about to show you, and let's get started. So I'm going to set up my timer here. 1 minute, let's go. Hey honey, I just saw this amazing painting at the art gallery just down the street. The new painting is actually pretty old. It demonstrates an olden time where we have a library along with a librarian, quite fittingly. This librarian seems to be an old man with glasses. However, what's interesting is his gullible, or you could say delightful, look when he's looking towards a little girl who has almost a halo around her. It's like she's an angel that the guy is looking at. Maybe it could be a departed soul from the guy's family. All around, we see a bunch of books. Moving further back, we have a big window that brings in natural light. Nonetheless, it's impossible to see because, of course, it's black and white. Fascinatingly, this picture describes a very detailed scene with a lot of depth, and I think we should buy this. What do you think? Okay, that is 58 seconds. And here's what I'm going to do. Before I tell you, I did this and this, I'm going to play my recording and I'm going to evaluate myself as a teacher, and I'm going to see with the marking scheme what points am I going to hit. Where am I going to score more points? And this is how you guys can do it as well. All right, let's check it out. Hey honey, I just saw this amazing painting at the art gallery just down the street. The new painting. Notice I did not say, how are you? Because it's my wife, right? So you don't say, how are you, to a person you met an hour ago or in the morning. Keeping it natural, okay? And in cases where it's a friend or someone formal, you can say, how are you? How's it going? What's up is also okay if it's natural to you. All right, let's keep going. Is actually pretty old. It demonstrates an old. It's old. Adjectives are always good. Every time I was using words like amazing, old, describing anything with quality, that's giving me marks because I'm using adjectives. And there's a little stutter there, which will be okay because native speakers do it as well. Stuttered but continued with confidence. However, if I did this 2 to 3 more times, I will lose marks. Okay, let's continue. In time where we have a library along with a librarian, quite fittingly. Now, this stuff that I do quite fittingly, it's an adverb, fittingly, and Lee's adverbs have marks, so I try to do them whenever I can. I try to force this in. And the more you describe the image, it's better. So here it's quite fitting that the library has a librarian. It's a nice description to put, and by putting complex phrasing, unique phrasing at the end of sentences or middle, like here I put it at the end, it just makes me stand out because people usually don't describe things and at the end would say quite fittingly or quite righteously or quite, whatever. So that's a little phrase you can insert at the end, makes you look fancy and advanced. This librarian seems to be an old man with glasses. However, what's interesting is... Now, okay, here I used however, which is a connector. I was happy with that, but not too happy, because I want to use nonetheless and nevertheless. And I did that later. You will hear it. I did nonetheless later. Advanced connectors will give me marks. His gullible, or you could say delightful look when he's looking toward... Gullible, delightful, good adjectives. And by the way, this sentence right now is complex because it's already connected with however. So it's a long, complex sentence. A good combination of complex and simple sentences give you marks. There's a little girl who has almost a halo around her. It's like she's an angel that the guy is looking at. Paint a picture, use words that describe an image, so it's an imagination. It almost seems as if, I think I said something like that, or it looks like, so that describes what's happening in the picture. Good phrases to use. You can also use in different cases, not here, but the wordings are similar to words like it can be observed, it can be seen, it can be noticed. Those are good words, good phrases to throw in when you're describing something, instead of just saying this is this or this is that. Maybe it could be a departed soul from the guy's family. All around, we see a bunch of books. Now here I'm going to the background using words all around to lead into that. Moving further back, we have... When I said moving further back, I was conscious that I got to use some connectors. I haven't used furthermore or likewise or anything. So this was my way of getting my point for the connector and keeping a good structure. Have a big window that brings in natural... Now, instead of big, I could have done something like large or a huge window, just a better word than big. Big is kind of basic. Light. Nonetheless, it's impossible to see because, of course, it's black and white. Fascinatingly, this picture describes a very detailed scene. Here I'm looking at my time, and I'm looking at the seconds running out, so I'm now going to my conclusion and wrapping it up. Look at my adjectives here. With a lot of depth, and I think we should buy this. What do you think? There was depth, and before that there was another adjective that I forgot. Let's rewind here. There's a very detailed scene with a lot of depth, and I think we should buy this. What do you think? And I think we should buy this. What do you think? Now, I said think twice. Maybe I could have done better there. What do you reckon would have been a good word? It means what do you think? R-E-C-K-O-N, reckon. So what do you guys reckon about the speaking? How many marks would you give it? Because I would give myself here, it's not perfect. There were two stumbles here. So I would say I would give myself 10 to 11 here. It covered all the good grammar, all the good vocab, very expressive, very natural tone. It covers the picture, describes it well, does the connectors, uses really good adjectives and adverbs. So I would lean more towards 11 here, but I would say 10 to 11 just because I just want to be a little humble here. Okay, guys, so make sure to always practice like this. Record yourself, play your voice, and do that with every question. Remember this technique for the last question, 2 to 4 points, not much. In our case, it was the window, the books, the guy, and the girl. That's all. Okay, you have 1 minute. Make sure to describe the most important points with quality instead of cramming in multiple quantity points that are not going to give you good marks. Okay, check out our course in the description if you really want to guarantee yourself a good score. It's money back guarantee. We have I think today, 3 amazing reviews. Check out what students are saying about it. It's on the product page, and I'm sure you'll benefit from that. And if you benefited from this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk soon.